Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the year of 2015 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This year, it isn't just what is going to be happening that is going to play an important part, but also what also matters to you now is what will no longer be happening. And that is mainly the fact that Saturn will not be in your sign for much of the year. Now, you are going to have Saturn returning to your sign, and this is going to affect most strongly those of you born in the last days of your sign, but all Scorpios out there should be experiencing this final driving home of some key lessons that the universe has been trying to get you to understand since late 2012. So between June and September, big lessons hitting home at that time, and a shift in your energy, and you start asking yourself some very important questions during this time. And mainly those questions have to do with, what do I really want? What do I want to achieve? What do I believe is my purpose? And most importantly, do I believe I deserve it? And what is the evidence? Either yes or no. What is the evidence to that? Ultimately, as I've spoken about in the Saturn specials, it is Saturn that asks us to take ownership for our happiness, that asks us to honor the physical plane, to do what is required to move us in a direction that is ultimately well earned based on what we have been doing already, putting into place. But what we also have happening at the same time is we're going to have Venus retrograde, and Venus is going to be retrograding at the very top of your chart. So Venus will enter shadow in June, retrograde late July and August, and will go direct and be in shadow for much of September and into October. So here are some really key moments, and you add to this the fact that where it comes to what's taking place in the sky in the month of September, I think is going to be such an important time for you, because literally we have Venus standing still in the sky at that time, and we have Saturn finally leaving your sign as well. So big shifts in energy set to take place, and big driving home of lessons that have been trying to reach you for a while. But also there's an understanding now that this is your shot, this is your chance, and it may very well feel like a big break shows up for you. But don't let that kid you. It actually looks like there is some breakthrough set to take place, whether it's happening on a professional career level or it's happening on a more personal level for you in terms of your understanding of your purpose and your life purpose. Regardless, it actually has been a long time coming, and your experiences actually have been leading you in this direction for a while now. Now, we already have Jupiter moving through the very top of your sky as well, which I spoke about in the Jupiter special as well. And so there is sort of a larger familiarity taking place, but what I find just really intriguing is that Venus does rule your opposite sign. And so I will talk about that a lot more in terms of the love-focused horoscope. But in the general focused horoscope, what's so interesting to me about this is that it is very likely that it is people who are playing a key part in you achieving something that matters to you, reaching a goal that matters to you, whether it's aiming high or digging deep within your spirit, making changes from that place. And for those of you for whom change has been asked to be made for a while now and you haven't been listening, this is when it just becomes unbearable to keep going in the direction that you know in your spirit you're not meant to go. However, if you are on the path that, yes, you're supposed to be on, this can be an incredible year where pieces just seem to fall into place just perfectly. Now, that does involve you asking yourself some questions, especially, it's almost as if I'm seeing you ask yourself some final tough questions. Really looking at yourself, really contemplating very deeply what you want and why you want it, and how it is that you are actually going to go about getting that thing that you want. And yet, at the same time, there is an understanding that So much of what you are likely to gain is going to come as a result of luck, of blessings, and really of some good fortune in your path. So that's a very interesting contradiction, but it needn't be. On the one hand, the universe is saying, be real. Did you do what you set out to do? And if not, why? Be honest with yourself and make those changes. Pay attention to where you are now and own where it is that you desire to go by doing the work right now. And then on the other hand, you've got this energy saying, faith is with you. Have that faith, have that belief, have that luck. Work with energy. Work with a knowing that you can have whatever it is that you dream to have, and trust that it will manifest for you. The months of March and June are also set to be times of some really wonderful manifestations becoming possible for you in the realm of career success and work-related success as well. Those of you who have wanted to make a change, especially on the work front, it does look like this is the year where your role, your jobs, the types of clients you attract, all of that, the way that you present the work that you do could go through some dramatic and very fortunate changes at that. One thing I love about this year is you are going to feel better is really what it comes down to, especially the later and later you get into this year. I feel like there are some tough questions, some tough coming togethers that need to happen over the course of the summer. But for all that, you are moving in a direction of greater understanding, of greater support, of feeling like your wishes and dreams are going to manifest that much more easier, thanks to Jupiter moving into a very harmonious position towards the later part of the year for you. So you put all this together and it suggests that you certainly are on a path of where it may feel like there's an ebb happening and a flow as well. You're actually moving in a really positive upward direction. You're moving in the direction of realizing at least one deeply held ambition. It's almost as if I'm seeing you check off a box in your bucket list, a very important box at that. Something that you really wanted to do, really wanted to achieve, really wanted to realize or experience does manifest for you this year. Whatever that dream is close to your heart, whatever it is that you really want to do, the universe is going to point the way. Is going to show you how that could happen. You may feel like you have to take a little bit of time to get your ducks in a row, and you might actually need to do that because it does look like, again, thanks to Saturn, it isn't just about you. There's also, sandwiched between Saturn moving in and out of your sign is a focus on finances as well. So even though you're thinking about the money and what you could do to build financial security, even though you are thinking about where you are in terms of your happiness, what you've done, how it's going to provide for you for a very long time to come, and even though you're asking yourself some questions that may at times have some tough answers, through all that, you're actually growing up. And you're going to find that growing up and reaching greater maturity isn't something that you necessarily have to rebel against or resist. But rather, you're going to find that growing up is one certain way to move yourself towards greater happiness and a greater sense of fulfillment than you have known before.